What's up, everybody? 3x to the Lex right back at you with one more video. Let's get into it. Okay, today I'm here to talk to you about the differences between SD card and SSD. Now, I've noticed a lot of discussion in the videos I've made, chats below the videos about that. And I've touched on this a lot in the past also in regards to the SSD versus hard drive discussion, and in regards to access speeds, response times, etc. My thoughts on it is this: like with SD card and SSD, a lot of you guys are wondering, like, probably, is it really a difference? Okay, pretty much how they work are different. Not all NAND, I would say, are equal, or say all of the flash memory style that it has, NAND flash memory, not all of it is gonna be equal. Basically, to give a breakdown of how that works, a NAND cell is basically like a semiconductor, and the semiconductors are what holds the data inside them. So it's possible that you could have an SD card that writes and reads just as fast as an SSD card. Generally, what I've noticed is it's going to come down a lot of time to the application and how the particular media is being used. And also, we need to keep in mind that in a lot of these builds, just speaking in regards to how the games, how the platforms and the front ends are designed, and a lot of these builds we see, like in regards to big box, coin ops, hyperspin, the SSD, they're not really optimized for SSD. They're generally based around really 270, 200 RPM hard drives. I've noticed a lot of the builds are starting to go to an SSD for the OS and for trying to access the data, but the bulk of the data is still on solid state hard drives, and that's generally what's causing the delay, because in solid state 7200 RPM hard drive is going to be generally a lot slower as far as access speeds is concerned. But in regards to the SD versus SSD debate, as of right now, the SD cards are a lot limited space wise compared to what you can get in the SSD. I believe 1 terabyte is the biggest SSD card. 2 terabytes are on the horizon for SD cards. SSD hard drives, they're constantly growing. I know we got 8 gigs, 16 terabyte SSD hard drives. So they're constantly growing, and the price is a lot more reasonable. SD media is very expensive the higher you get. So I know when I was shopping around for an SD card, I was surprised at how pricey they were. So I think a good 2 terabyte card is almost a good 1 terabyte card, SD micro card, is probably almost $300 now. So that's something to keep in mind when comparing the two. But speaking of what I was speaking about earlier, one of the main issues is a lot of the setups aren't really optimized to run twin SSDs, hyperspin, coin ops, big box. When we start seeing that stuff a little bit better optimized to take advantage of running 2 SSD drives, one for the OS, one for the data, game data, then I'd be interested in seeing what the access speeds and the boot up times, etc. are in regards to where they could possibly go. But right now, I think generally, each platform was probably designed for different uses. SD cards are best for storing files. SSDs are a little bit more optimized for running the OS and accessing bigger files. However, like the SD card setup works great in a Pi single onboard computer, and I haven't had any issues in regards to either. Generally, how it works, if you're interested in knowing, it pretty much, the SD card pretty much has a microcontroller, and it fetches the storage data and it usually writes to it, and it's pushed to the tip edge of the card. And generally, the instructions are going to be programmed ahead of time into the data, and that's generally how you're able to squeeze so much data into a small size. And it handles the data. Also, I wanted to mention, SD card generally handles the data. The way it handles it is a little bit more rudimentary. It tends to store the data wherever there is free space and read things in a more orderly manner. With the SSD drive, they have the luxury of fitting all their memory and spreading the data more out throughout the infrastructure. So how it's processed is going to be a little different. That's why I think I've seen, one of the main reasons I've seen like faster access speeds with the SD card setups. Again, it may be because it's not properly optimized for coin ops or hyperspin. Running twin SSDs is not really built around that, but we'll see in the future. Anyway, this has been my rant for SD versus SSD. Right now, I really like the SD setup with the Pi and single board computers. The response times have been great. Access speeds are fantastic, and I really like it a lot. I think SSD drives are great, but as of right now, I don't know if a lot of the front ends are really optimized to take full advantage of that setup, because it seems to be pretty much designed around 7200 RPM hard drives. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. If you got any other questions, comments, or concerns about SSD drives or SD drives, please let me know. Hey, 3X to the Lex out, and that's all I got. See you on the next one.